It's January 1st, and the indigo sun rises over the still streets of Saturn. A chill wind blows in from the Alone. The winter air doesn't reach the district of Fartown, a bubble world locked in a perpetual autumn. Here the sunlight warms as it illuminates a towering mailbox, red-flagged raised, as today's mail has arrived. We're going to open here with only Rachel.
Hooray!
Would you like to tell us all what your house looks like?
Yes. Only Rachel lives in an enormous mailbox that towers over the rest of the neighborhood. An old-fashioned type with a little red flag. Sometimes giant mail gets delivered to only Rachel's house. Sometimes it's for her, sometimes it isn't. She doesn't really know where it comes from or who takes it, but somebody does. Only half of the house is really inhabited. Only Rachel has pushed all of her furniture to one side to leave space for the mail. She lives with a house cat-sized Siberian tiger named Lilith, who is always watching.
You wake up today, probably a little bit later than your usual rise, because last night was New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Whatever passes for a postal service does not take this as a holiday, and mail has arrived for you today.
Wow, how diligent. Wait, for me?
There is a letter for you, yes.
Okay, I flipped through the giant mails.
Actually, this will be a great time to draw our first Sooth card.
Ooh.
So our first one is the Endless Woods. The Endless Woods enhances green magic and diminishes pale magic. What it means is getting lost and saying that, in this case, I think what it is there's loads of mail here. You got an unusually steep dumping of mail.
Wow.
And it took up the half the room that you leave to make space for this mail. So you go flipping through it, and most of them are giant size. I figured the giant size ones are about as tall as Rachel is, but they're made of paper, so they're easy enough to push around.
You know how rugs are on display in the store where they're all hanging up and you just kind of have to flip through them, but they're very, very big? It's like that, but with big, big letters.
As you flip through the piles of giant mail, a regular-sized letter falls to the ground, and you can see that this one is addressed to you.
This one is addressed to me. Judy. Judy.
Yeah?
The thing is, I know she can talk, because the kitty cat's secret for my house means that she sees everything and does tell me.
Yeah.
So when she meows, it's because she doesn't want to talk. That's not nice.
Then joke's on me, because I intended that to be halfway between a meow and a yeah. But now it was a meow.
What time is it?
When did you get up?
Late, 1.
Then it's 1.
Wow, neat.
Amazing how time works.
We're not starting with the episode where I was much, much smarter than this. And that's not fair to me. I am late.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I tucked the letter into my bag, and I wiggle my way into an oversized hoodie. It is pale blue in color, and it has the word pie written on it, just in big bubble letters. Only Rachel is short. She's on the short side. She's definitely a little on the round side. And about 90% of her wardrobe is oversized sweaters and hoodies. Today, I think she's wearing, leggings. Maybe there's a skirt under there. It's hard to tell because the sweatshirt does reach her knees. It is time to go to the Mobius Strip Mall and meet all my very, very good friends. And I will worry about the letter later.
We're going to jump over. Would you tell us what your subway looks like?
Oh yeah, 11th Street subway. Well, it looks like an abandoned subway. There's tiles missing, there's lights that flicker and kind of, dangle from the ceiling. A whole lot of garbage has just blown down the stairs and, has been trapped in corners and piled up in the tracks at various places. The subway's not used currently. As for my actual living quarters themselves, there's sort of a side track where, a couple subway cars can be stored. And I imagine there's about 3 old subway cars, and that's kind of his home. He just sort of like stretches out on one of the benches as a bed, or the head cooks over in one area, and has just kind of divided up these train cars into various faux rooms in his house. And one of the train cars, I imagine, isn't quite on the level. Like, it's sort of like slipped off the tracks a little bit, and it kind of, you gotta walk through at an angle sort of thing. But it's quiet down there, normally, and probably fairly warm being underground.
I don't know when 11th Street would get up the day. What time would you wake?
Before 1, for sure. Especially if I knew that I was going to meet people today. Yeah, you'd probably just throw on whatever clothes you had lying around. He doesn't really have a closet, right? His clothes are just sort of like laying over the backs of chairs.
May I suggest putting them in the driver's compartment?
Oh, that'd be a good place, yeah.
That'd be a good closet.
Yeah, just like a dash of socks and stuff. All the levers and stuff, just, like, got like ties or something hanging over them. Yeah, no, that totally works.
Even though you would normally wake up relatively early, because you have plans today, and despite the general disarray of the subway station, there is a working, if teetering, clock.
Sure.
That would hang over and normally tell people what time the trains were arriving.
Exactly.
If trains ever arrived here, I mean, they don't go anywhere. The tracks don't lead anywhere.
Yeah. Tunnels are blocked off.
You are awoken by a creaking, thumping. There's this wood creak, and then it sounds like a footfall that almost shakes the whole subway.
Oh, shit. I pull the old newspaper I've been using to cover my face off my face, and I sit up, and I'm like, oh, it's that fucking tree, isn't it? And I start getting dressed.
Mr. Street?
Hey, hang on a sec, Jesus. And I get dressed and kind of stagger up the stairs. And I stop halfway up, and I turn around and I go find my other boot, but I only had one. When
you turn around, the heavy footfalls seem to follow down the stairs, and we see what's a very familiar face to you. It's your neighbor, Roger. Roger is an oak tree that is for some reason animate, but he is the size of an oak tree. He's a big fellow.
A little bit.
You know him as quite an unpleasant next-door neighbor.
Well, he's always stomping around and making a ruckus. I thought a forest was supposed to be peaceful, but I guess it ain't.
I imagine you're none too keen on him showing up here this morning.
Not particularly. What is it, Roger?
Working on fixing this place up again, haven't you?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say working. I've been thinking of working.
Well, you go ahead and put those thoughts to rest.
What? But I haven't even gotten started.
And he reaches into a hollowed-out trunk area and withdraws a letter. And you can see him unfurl it, and it's a matte black kind of thing with silvered text. And as you see the text on it, the letters seem to climb up off the page and move around. And then they meet up with other letters and start dancing. He waves this around, so much so that you can't get a good look at it right now. You know what this is?
Well, no. You're waving the dang thing around. I can't read what the hell it says.
This is my ticket to shutting you down.
What? Let me see that.
And he takes it and folds it up and sticks it back inside his trunk. I'm going to meet with our local representative. I'm going to get to speak with him about some very concerning zoning issues.
No, hang on a minute, Roger. What in the hell are you driving at here?
Just didn't want you to waste any more of your time.
Well, I appreciate your concern.
He turns and kind of gives a little chuckle to himself and starts stomping back up the stairs.
Yeah, I kind of mock him behind his back, and I stomp down the stairs, find another boot. God damn it. Fucking trees shafting me already.
From there, I imagine you get ready to head out to your meeting today?
Yep. Get on clothes. They don't necessarily all match. Would you like a brief description? Or later?
We can do that later.
Sounds good.
Professor, what does your morning look like?
Well, I'm afraid I was woken up rather early. I believe it was approximately 6:14 in the morning. The rollers at establishment next door had finally wound down their partying. They were making quite a ruckus in the street. I stood up to tell them off, and unfortunately I was invited outside once again. I was sleeping quite nicely in the Prime Archive. However, I guess my relaxation was not to be this morning. I dusted my clothes off, made sure I didn't have any new holes in them. I took myself outside. I found that I didn't have much to do this morning, unfortunately. I had plans to meet friends for later lunch, brunch, something. However, nothing much to do. I went to my standard haunt, the sub-basement. I got myself a sandwich there for the morning. Proceeded to roam, think, really.
While the professor is wandering the streets, enjoying the feeling of being trapped in a basement that the sub provides,
Quite comfortably.
you wander the largely empty streets. Saturnine is a huge city, and even though Fartown is one of the more populated districts, only about 1 in 10 houses have anyone in them. Most of the people that you bump into on the street are not people at all, but thought forms put there to do menial labor. They clean up the roads. If you were to try to engage one in conversation, it wouldn't lead to a whole lot. They're capable of simple answers. Their knowledge is strictly confined to whatever their job is.
That's fine. I'm not one for speaking to strangers anyway. I prefer to keep to myself.
As you're passing what you had assumed was a thought form, there's a small voice in the back of your mind, and you just hear, "Listen."
Who was that? Where are you?
And you're familiar with this sensation, at least somewhat. You can hear ghosts.
Unfortunately, yes. They don't leave me alone enough.
When you go looking for the source of this sound, you see a peculiar gentleman. His skin appears entirely translucent. Actually, all of him is translucent with the exception of his eyes, which you can see shifting around in his head, and his mustache, which is thick and bushy.
Seems like quite the chap.
You can hear him speaking with what you're pretty sure is a thought form. Somebody dressed up like a janitor with a big broom. They were brushing leaves out of the street. You didn't catch most of the conversation, but when you perked up, you vaguely caught the word legacy.
Who was it that was saying that?
The mustache and eyes attached to a translucent form said that.
My good sir, you do know that it won't answer you.
There must be someone around here to celebrate with me this morning. You catch this terrible reek of alcohol off his breath. It seems that he hasn't gotten home since the previous night. When he turned to acknowledge you, rather than the body turning, the eyes rolled to a different position within his skull to look at you, and the mustache shifted around the outside of his form. So his body never turned, but the two bits that you can clearly see moved.
It seems as though you've done quite enough celebrating, my good chap.
Well, the year's just getting started. I have to start my celebrating early, don't I?
I tell you what. If you'll tell me what you were telling this, creature, then perhaps I can conjure up something.
Oh. Well, yes, I was just showing off a little something I came into possession of, and he withdraws a letter similar to the one that was shown to 11th Street. Matte black, silver lettering, and the letters get up and off the page and start dancing around. He holds it steady enough for you to examine it. The message reads, "Please join Lord Sebatal in celebrating his recent discovery of an item of the legacy. January 10th, cocktails at 6, unveiling at 7:30.
Oh my, that's quite something. Please, allow me to do this for you. And I would like to cast a spell. I would like to create just a small object. I am going to look up the spell level of... okay, create a permanent item that can be held in one hand is a level 4 effect. I am going to make him a drink using my keywords joy and duration.
Nice.
Yeah.
What does this look like? I mean, the effect works, because there's nothing to challenge you casting this spell. So it works exactly as you envision it. So how do you envision it?
Alright, so it is golden brass-looking tankard is steaming a little bit. It's warm. It's got sort of a mead or a mulled wine kind of scent to it. It's very rich. It's a morning drink. It's about a pint. The drink itself, though, has not so much a kick, but just a long lasting. It's sort of it'll keep them going for a while.
Says, "Oh, why, thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
And a very merry new year." And he stumbles off and throws his arm kind of around the thought form and drags it along with him.
Strange chap.
I thought they were all morning drinks.
I mean, that guy obviously did.
Malin, what does your morning look like?
Well, Malin would wake up at about 8 o'clock. Not really a partier, didn't go out last night. Just kind of stayed at home and read a book. So wakes up at regular time. Knowing that she has to go out and meet only Rachel later, she'd probably do something to the effect of flip to a different page, have some tea in the library. Because who doesn't have their own library?
This guy right here.
You're enjoying your morning tea, looking out at the calm morning. There's very few folks around. You look over at the homes of your two neighbors, the luxurious home owned by the potato next door. You see that there's the mailbox at the end of his walk is full, and there are letters contained inside. You look over to the other side, where a Dracula lives, and unsurprisingly, you don't see him out while the sun's up. You do see a female figure leaving his home. It's hard to exactly make out the edges of her shape. She seems more liquid than solid. As she moves along, some of her seems to blend with the background, and bits of her kind of bubble off, and you can see a walk of shame when you come across one.
Oh my, I do wonder what the story is behind all that. and Malin, presses her face to the window, to watch this. I think that she thinks she's being subtle, but these are not tinted windows.
Is she attempting to avoid notice of this woman?
I don't know that it occurs to her.
Horrible.
Okay, you watch her holding coat from the previous night. And you see her head off down the street, and you imagine to yourself some of the different possibilities that may have drawn her into the web of Dracula?
A Dracula, yes.
A Dracula. And you ponder on this for a moment until you realize, hey, it's probably time to get going.
Yes, but first I'm going to stop and get the mail for my neighbor, the potato, because, I mean, he obviously can't check it himself, and no one has thought to bring it to his door.
Yeah, you head over to the impressive, almost manor of your neighbor. It's really maybe a little bit ostentatious to put something like this next to your book. But you want to be on good terms with your neighbor. You grab the letters out of there, and you can see one in a black envelope with a wax seal on it.
And of course, I rifle through his mail a little bit, just to see if I can learn anything more about him, see who all of his notes are from. So of course I come across this black wax-sealed envelope. I double-check the street.
The street seems clear.
Oh no! This one appears to already be open!
And you break the seal on
I
the
do.
envelope. You open it up, and you see the letter that I have described before, with the lovely silver writing. You get the best look out of everyone so far, because this time nobody's wobbling around holding it. No trees are being assholes currently. Well, yes, but not to you.
Yeah, then I know that.
just, you can assume at all times that Roger's being an asshole to somebody.
You take a look, and you see this invitation describing an item of the legacy. It does not say what it is, but it appears Lord Sepital is holding something of a party. You can see that the invitation is addressed to the resident, and it invites him to bring a +1.
I approach his door, and I knock. Hello? Sir?
The door creaks open slightly, but nobody comes to meet you.
Alright. Not wanting to be rude, Malin leans in. Hello, sir, I've gotten your mail again.
So you can see a faint bit of candlelight coming from a room just off to the side. The door to it is open.
Should I just leave it here at the door?
You don't get a response.
Sir, are you alright? And then I enter the house.
Head to the room with the candlelight.
Yes, of course.
I can't anymore. I can't. I've been trying so hard. I've been trying so hard.
Just a potato.
It's just a potato.
Very nice house.
You walk into a study. It's extravagantly furnished.
The potato must be boiled because he's got no taste. Bye, everyone. I'll see myself later.
There's an array of books lining the walls. There's a beautiful wooden desk laid out ahead of you. On the desk, you see a candle that is mostly burnt down to nothing. A piece of paper and a quill laid out. The quill is laying atop a piece of paper, and you can see your neighbor, the potato, face down on the paper.
Is there anything written on the paper?
There's just a splotch where the quill made contact with it, but you don't see any text on it.
Oh, I'm so sorry to have bothered you. I just wanted to bring you your mail, and then I was concerned that you might have been injured, but I see that you appear to be totally fine. I will leave your mail here on the desk, and she like slides the black one a little bit off the top of the pile towards him. This looks very interesting. I believe I'd heard about it from someone in the neighborhood. If you're looking for a +1, I'm right next door. So,
The potato is still and silent as you make this suggestion.
okay, so just think about it. And then she, dashes back outside, closing the door behind her.
It's the most nerve-wracking encounter with a potato anyone has ever had.
Great.
I think she got the cold shoulder.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, that was a delight. The time has come for you all to head to the Mobius Strip Mall and meet up for lunch. So the question had come, what is everyone wearing?
Well, I have my standard fare. I'm wearing my tweed suit, a jacket and a tie on. I've got a cap on, and the same outfit I've been wearing since I awoke about a year ago. Perhaps not the best for wear, but I've got patches on the elbows where I need them, and the knees, and a butt cheek. Small patch on the top of the cap. That's a different story. It's fine.
Well, 11th Street, the best way to describe him is sort of walking thrift store, I think. But he does sort of have a signature red pleather jacket. And it kind of, because we're, in a magical world, it kind of always looks like it's, melting just a little bit, but never seems to actually, drop off. Kind of like a candle, almost. And he usually keeps a pack of smokes under one of the shoulder straps, because you can't really, roll up a cuff or a collar quite so easy on those things. Got a collared shirt, button-up shirt. It has some people on the front of it, and if you had spent any amount of time in the world of Shadow, you might actually recognize them as the cast of Friends. He's got sunglasses tucked in the shirt. It's, of course, unbuttoned, 2 buttons or so, just kind of hanging off him. He's got heavy denim pants that are actually also suspenders, but those are just hanging off to the side. And then heavy work boots that aren't done any more than halfway up. One of them is kind of blackened, like it's been scorched. And that's sort of the gist of it. He's just sort of schlepping around.
I've decided that in addition to the pie sweater, the leggings have a cake pattern on them. And I think the shoes are like Mary Jane's. Just like little shiny black shoes. But definitely the pie sweater. That's important. But the hood is down. Only Rachel has rosy gray, turtle dove colored plumage instead of hair. So it looks like her hair is slicked back. But actually that's just kind of what her head looks like. It's a pie sweater. You can never see her hands.
I've owned this sweater. No. In an effort to be more presentable, Malin spent probably an hour and a half going through her closet, trying on things, because she doesn't really go out very often, so she's not really sure what's appropriate. So today I decided on a dark gray blazer and a bright green button-up shirt. Her hair is down. It's about shoulder length, and it's looks like it should be up. It's something about it looks like you should just put it up, just put it in a ponytail. What are you doing? And then just black pants and really, really flip-flops. She's wearing flip-flops. They're black. She hates them, but she has to wear shoes. It's something about being out in public. So this was the most minimal amount of shoe.
A lot of you arrive at the Mobius Strip Mall and head to, I don't think we ever named the brunch place.
Nope.
You're headed to Liberton. Liberton is the name of the brunch place. You hear they do, a pretty solid brunch. Maybe a couple of you have been there before. But recently, they got hit with a bit of a sizing issue. and all of their breakfast foods grew to about three times their normal size.
Yeah.
Their pancakes are colossal.
Nice.
They had a pretty big waffle previously, but now it's kind of unreasonable.
You don't say. This just kind of happens in my neighborhood. Things get smaller, things get bigger. Everything's always changing, and that's why I love it. And then the waffles changed in a way to make them much larger, and I couldn't resist.
This is the introduction as you guys have sat down as to why you guys chose here for brunch.
Sorry I'm late.
I'm not surprised, my friend.
Not even a little bit.
Sorry, Professor, I didn't see you there. Hello.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure. How are you doing, roomies? Tell me everything about your new place. I've knocked my dice away.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going good. I mean, there's kinks to work out.
Mm.
My neighbor's a tree, and he's kind of an ornery sort.
I thought your neighbor was a stack of small animals.
Oh well, that's different neighbor, other side.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I mean, I'm getting things smoothed over with all of them, and hopefully it'll feel like home real soon.
I'm glad you're enjoying your new place.
Yeah, how's Moon doing, by the way?
Cheerful as ever.
It's good to hear.
That's why I slept in. We were up late talking.
That's what I figured.
It's New Year's.
Ah, yes, of course. Lovely to see you as always, Rachel.
Hooray! How are you doing?
I am wonderful.
How's the Count?
Oh, he had a lady over last night.
You don't say.
And then the gentleman next door had this very interesting thing in his mail that I'm hoping maybe he'll take me to as well.
An event. A letter.
Yes, a black one. It with silver letters.
I saw one of those myself.
Wait, were the letters like squiggly and jumping about the place?
They were dancing.
Oh, what the hell? My Roger, my tree neighbor, he had one of those too.
Interesting.
Wow. I want to go. It's the kind of party they invite trees and potatoes to. I have to go to this party.
You live in a giant mailbox. You're
I
telling me
do.
you didn't get one of these letters?
No, this is the only letter I got.
Oh.
I just kind of stuffed it in my pocket because I was late. Because I was up all night talking to the moon.
To
I'm
the
sure I
surprise
told
of
you.
everyone.
I snatch it out of her hand.
That's good, because that's what I was going to do.
When you guys move to a new location, when there's a shift in things, in this case, the four of you showing up at one place instead of being at separate ones, it's usually a good time to draw a new Sooth card. So we've moved on from the Lost Woods to the Banished Serpent.
Ooh.
The Banished Serpent, it's about temporary solutions to problems. It's sending away an issue, knowing that, it's a good thing it's not bothering anyone right now. It's probably coming back around. I don't know how this impacts the scene yet, but I guess we'll find out. So you open up the letter,
Yes.
and it's not the same letter you had seen previously. It begins with a "Dear Bird Lady."
Oh my, this one's different.
Perhaps it would be best if you read this yourself.
Right. I'm going to read the mail.
This one is clearly similar to a letter you have received in the past.
Oh.
The writing style and the calligraphy to it is very much akin to a letter you had gotten previously from a secret admirer.
Eh.
This one is asking if you would join them at this event on the 10th. They were allowed to bring a +1, and they'd very much like to meet you there and possibly have a dance. There is an extra piece of paper in here, and it's in the same kind of matte black with a silver script, but it just says on it, +1.
I'm gonna just kind of put the whole assembly in the pocket of my hoodie. And stare into the middle distance for a minute, and then try to find the waitress. Waffles.
Good luck.
Waffle. You just need to be assertive, Professor. Excuse me?
And
Hey.
the waitress does come over.
Hi.
Hi, how's everyone doing this morning?
Great, thank you.
Not bad.
Could I get a waffle, please?
One waffle?
With strawberries.
Strawberries. You want any other fruit on that?
Yes.
Will it fit?
We'll certainly find out. It did a couple of days ago.
Do your best.
And for yourself?
Pancakes, suppose. And just go ahead and load it up with, like, fruit and whipped cream and, like, whatever will fit on the plate.
That's the
kind of deal.
spirit.
I've got it. And you, young lady?
I will have, waffles. I'll have a waffle.
Wonderful. Thank you all. I'll be right up.
Excuse me, madam.
Oh.
Madam.
I'm so sorry about that. What can I get for you?
That's quite alright. I'd like, well, I hesitate to say your largest stack of pancakes, but pancakes.
I've got it. And she heads off back to the kitchen.
I wonder where Grizz is on his rounds.
You didn't see him this morning?
Oh, he was probably either not working or already long since at work. I definitely slept in.
Grizz had already left. You knew that the little tricycle that he rides and pulls the tea cart with, the tea shop, it's a full shop, it's just on wheels so he can pull the tricycle, had at very least not been parked at his house, so he's out with it somewhere.
Okay. Maybe we can get tea after breakfast brunch.
Sounds delightful.
I do so love tea.
Grizz makes the best tea. Literally the best tea anywhere.
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
A few minutes pass. The waitress comes back out with an overly large tray, something that she needs to hold in two hands, because it seems that some of the kitchenware has also been enlarged.
Oh my.
What?
Oops.
That's convenient.
That waffle is bigger than my head!
She sets things down in front of all four of you, because this time she's looking for the professor.
Right.
It sets down some cutlery, a thing of maple syrup that's in a regular container for it, but the container is more like the size of a bucket now.
Oh.
And just kind of plops that on the table. All of your cutlery is mismatched in sizes. You might have a fork that looks like it's meant to like serve salad or something, and then a regular sized butter knife.
Question.
Yes.
The fruits upon the waffle. What size are the fruits?
Again, they vary, but there is a strawberry that's fist-sized on there.
Okay, I definitely freaking just Cindy Lou Who with that motherfucker. I do just kind of just pick it up in my little hands and just kind of like retreat into my chair with this giant ass strawberry. I'm not gonna use cutlery, I'm gonna be honest with you. When you're faced with a waffle this size, you really just kind of have to rip it with your bare hands.
My
Like
friend, did you never learn any manners?
I feel like when the waffle is like so, and the apple strawberry is like so, the manners are different.
I mean,
Well, the manners for soup are different from the manners for juice, right?
That's quite correct.
Well, there you go. Different foods have different manners. Giant waffles have giant waffle manners.
I would argue with you that this is the same food. It's simply a different size.
now, I would agree with you if only I didn't have a pitchfork to eat with.
Very well, I relent.
Ah.
I haven't said anything because I already started eating.
I imagine Malin is attempting to use this trident as a fork.
Mr. Street, do trade me utensils. I want some that at least match.
Well, sure. What do you want? I got like this knife that's regular size, and this fork that's, well, it's a little bit big. I don't know. I think it was a dessert fork, maybe.
My knife is too large. My fork is already quite small.
You're welcome to have here. I wipe it off on my jacket and then hand it
I
to him.
reach over and dunk a piece of waffle in the syrup.
At this point, as you're reaching over and dunking it in, the banished serpent kind of comes into play. You had tucked the letter, including the +1, into your hoodie pocket, and as you lean over, the black part of the invitation with at least a couple of the silver letterings becomes visible to everyone here at the table.
Your letter's falling out of your pouch there. Hey, here, let me get that for you.
If you don't stop, you're going to get syrup on it.
Oh, yeah, syrup. No, it's fine. Hey!
The letter you're holding is very much similar to the one that you saw Roger waving around.
Mm-hmm.
This one you can read, but it just says +1.
Who's this from?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Wasn't there like one of them return address thingies?
Mm-mm.
No?
Mystery.
Yes.
I do love a good mystery.
Not this one.
What's wrong with this one?
I don't know. There's just somebody who keeps sending me weird letters.
Oh no, that's the worst.
Can they get you more +1s, like +3? Not to abuse your
You know a
stupid mind.
fellow, don't you?
I do.
Yes, you do. Let's all look over here.
I do. I don't know if he's going to go or.
Well, that's perfect. Perhaps you can take his invitation and invite one of us.
You could disguise yourself as a potato.
I shan't.
It would be mannerly.
Well, those of you who read this letter, did it like have your name on it, or is it just like bring this letter and your +1 and show up to the shindig? You don't need to be a potato if it's not addressed to
My neighbors said resident.
Well, there you go. No potato disguise needed.
Perfect. However, it sounds as though your connection would not be particularly inclined to invite you.
Well, to be honest, I'm not sure why in the hell anyone in their right mind would invite a tree to a party.
Especially that one.
He's just an ass.
Have you checked your own mail?
Well,
Do you get mail?
I don't really have a mailbox. It's just oh shit, maybe it blew over in the corner somewhere. I'll look next time I get around my place.
Right.
So when you had been there previously, oftentimes flyers will blow in. You very rarely have any mail yourself. This morning was not one of the mornings that you received mail.
Fair enough.
Maybe you could be Roger's date.
Yeah, I don't really think he's gonna be up for that.
Wouldn't that be absolutely awful?
He's probably bringing Aaron.
Aaron?
Aaron?
The group of Disney-like woodland creatures that resides within his chest.
Go
Airish,
by
I thought that was.
various.
Goes by various air names.
Right, yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that does have a lick of sense to it.
This morning I did meet a chap, a mustachioed fellow. He had an invitation himself. However, I'm afraid I know if I could find him again.
You could be Mustache Man's date.
Yes, I suppose. I
Great!
don't know how to find him, though.
I mean, aren't you some sort of, like, creative magician type? Yeah, like one of them Weaver things, aren't you?
I mean, yes, but it takes a grand amount of imagination to weave a spell together. There are concepts that are hard to sustain in your mind. You know,
Right. I don't really understand, to be honest, but couldn't you, like, dream up something? I don't know, you're pretty good with magic too, Malin. You got anything in your...
Well, I might have a horrible suggestion. You said he was coming from the nightclub by your library.
I don't know that he was. He was just nearby. He had been celebrating it. It's possible.
Was he drunk?
Almost certain.
Well, he probably came from the club, right? Oh, makes sense.
Seems likely.
Well,
I hesitate to suggest we look for him there.
Oh, God.
I know. It sounds just wretched.
Okay,
Certainly is.
So
I feel
only
like-
Rachel sets her food down and balls her fists up. And because you lived with her, you recognize that she is about to start chanting.
before you start anything,
Party, party,
Oh, shit.
party,
I
party.
apologize
party,
entirely.
Party,
As well
party.
you should.
I simply thought maybe she's giving me a weird look.
she does that
Party.
from time to time. Don't take it personally, nothing.
We're not
Party?
looking to party. We're looking to form an expedition.
An adventure,
Well, it sounds like there's some sort of celebration.
a quest. We've got several days, though,
You're
right?
going to the nightclub in search of a date to the party. Definitely. This is a party.
A romance novel.
10 days, by the way.
The waitress comes back. Are you all still working on those? Can I get you some boxes?
I'm afraid I'll be working on this for days.
Yeah, go on ahead and box this
And-
up and...
And together or separate?
I'm with her.
Yes, of course.
I mean, yeah, I'll get yours.
Hooray! Thanks, roomies. You
Yeah.
guys are my favorite.
Don't mention it. By the way, doll, you don't mind if I smoke in here, eh?
Oh, no. Suit yourself.
What?
Let us hear it.
He does that. It's fine.
Unacceptable.
It was real good whipped cream.
She comes back a minute later with a styrofoam box that's like the size of a trunk.
Nice.
At least the
And-
box has also got larger.
And then a bunch that are just like big enough to hold a sandwich. So somebody's has gotten kind of cut up into several. Yeah.
Can I get to go a side of bacon, please?
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Judith is gonna lose her shit. Show that dumb kitty.
And she comes back a few minutes later with the 3 regular-sized strips of bacon.
That sounds about right.
Judith is a regular-sized cat, so 3 strips of bacon is still plenty.
Bill is placed on the table. Do we need to talk about how currency works? You guys remember?
Orbs.
Yep. The bill here is listed in orbs. You might have written down your currency in crystal orbs.
Yeah.
For 11th Street and only Rachel, the bill is 2 crystal and 5 orbs. For Malin and the professor, it's 2 crystal.
And 1 crystal is 10 orbs? Or how's the conversion work?
It's in hundreds.
Oh, it is in hundreds. Okay.
So 5 orbs is actually super low there. I lowballed it a little bit because I did the conversion wrong. But that's what's on the bill.
So whichever.
Okay.
Of course, I have to ask if you guys leave a tip.
How was the service?
Dreadful.
She practically ignored my friend.
I mean, he's got that thing, right? Sort of slips beneath the radar.
What kind of waitress doesn't look for a customer?
I mean, one who's not looking for magic customers, I suppose.
Shouldn't that be all of them?
Well, not everyone's, special. Like, right? I'm done making excuses for her. She's just trying to do her job.
She's doing her best.
I'll leave right there. I'll just leave.
I
I'm not
mean-
doing that. 10 orbs.
I would like to... I would like to drop all this nonsense off back at my place and give Judith the bacon. Come on, everyone. Let's all go to Rachel's house.
It's on the way, sure.
Besides, I didn't finish going through the mail.
Maybe we could find another invitation in there.
Maybe.
Can't hurt to look.
It can't, probably.
I mean, paper cuts.
They're very big papers.
Well, I'll get some gloves or something. It'll be fine.
You're so crafty.
First, I have a question. How do you get up to the mailbox?
There's an elevator.
Okay.
In the post?
Perfect.
Yes.
Nice.
These are the important questions.
Oh, yeah. No, I determined that.
Seriously, though.
I'm still smoking in the elevator.
Before we get to you... Actually, you know what? Sure. Screw that. You're smoking in the elevator.
So, you want me to put it out?
No, I lost this fight a long time ago.
It's fine, and I just drop it and stomp it
Oh,
on the
it's
floor.
fine. No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
It's done. It's done.
It's fine.
I
No,
know,
it's
I know.
fine.
The mailbox has a lot of paper. Paper's flammable. We've been over this before.
We have.
Ding! And the doors open as you reach the main level.
Judy, guess what I got?
Is it for me?
It's bacon for you.
Everybody stand back.
And Judy, who had been laying across the room and just perked a head up when you were calling her, suddenly charges towards it, her miniature tiger self, and gets towards the package and rears back and leaps at it and starts tearing at the styrofoam to get to the bacon with it.
Oh my, that's adorable.
I try to shove my waffle in the fridge. I try very hard to shove my waffle in the fridge. And then I guess I go through the mail now that I'm not as rushed. Just like mysterious, giant and mysterious, giant flyer.
Most of the mail is not addressed to you.
No.
Some of it is, as you say, just flyers. There's the same ads for the same shops you've seen a million times. You're so close to the Mobius strip mall that you inevitably get flyers and coupons from them.
It's very convenient, but it's also very annoying.
I start helping her sort through them, and then I come across a hardware flyer, and I'm just enthralled with that.
Okay. I'm going to peek out the big old mailbox door,
Mhm.
and I'm going to see where Grizz is.
You can see Grizz is actually just pulling up to his place now.
Oh. Let's go get tea.
Yes.
Of course.
Hooray!
What, we're leaving already? But we haven't even... Oh, sorry, I got distracted.
I finished with the mail.
And?
And the rest of it's for whoever else it's for.
Yeah, but was any of them the black letters with the invitations?
No, I don't think so.
You sure?
I mean, I didn't open any of them. That would be horrible.
Why, yes, that would be absolutely rude.
Sure. Fine, whatever. I'm taking this flyer, though.
It's not fun.
I just fold it up and stuff it in my jacket. It's already gone.
I'm so glad you're happy in your new neighborhood.
And you guys pile back into the elevator. Actually, the elevator is kind of tight for 4 people.
Yeah.
So it's mainly just used by only Rachel. So it's probably made to be comfortable for 2, can accommodate 4. You could probably cram 6. But at that point, you're not you're worried that you might be going over the elevator's weight limit, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a little cozy. And it definitely still smells like smoke in here. And that smell just doesn't go away.
No. Also, I'm guessing now that some of the 11th Street's furniture just was left at only Rachel's because he couldn't be bothered to fucking stuff it in the elevator and pull it down again. So just, whatever. You can have it. I'm good.
I mean, if you like, I can push it out the door.
I don't think it would survive a drop.
Oh.
But you know what? Maybe
That would be horrible.
maybe I can make like a parachute system, and I can like paradrop my couch.
You're so clever.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down.
I hope you actually do it.
When you reach the bottom, and there's a little ding as the elevator doors open again, you see Grizz apparently just getting back on his tricycle. Grizz is a heavily muscled, shaved head, tattooed fellow. He has a nasty facial scar that you're not quite sure how it got, but it looked like there's a deep blade cut along his face. He's clearly been in a few scraps. However, his demeanor is very cheery as he drives his little tricycle by you. And he goes, "Hey, Rachel."
Hi! Can we get some tea from you, favorite neighbor?
"Yeah, absolutely. Y'all look a little bit too big to get into the shop. Is there anything I can grab for you?"
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a to-go order. Can I get that very, very good jasmine oolong?
"Very good. Same around?" Or?
Sounds delightful, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Grizz opens the door and kind of hunches over and squeezes his way inside.
Man loves his work.
Yeah.
A moment later, you see what would have been like a window on a restaurant, but it shrunk down so small. And he opens up the window like a drive-through service thing. And his bear just pushing out the teas need to come out one at a time. You can't fit a tray through.
Perfect as usual.
When you drink the tea, it is just a delight. It brings happiness to people who drink it.
Grizz, this is really good.
"Yeah, I've been working on this for a long time."
You still got it.
Yep.
"Well, if that'll be all, I gotta make my rounds."
Have fun at work.
As he pedals his tricycle down the street.
Bye.
Bye.
Pleasant chap.
Yes, best. My other neighbor is a doctor.
Yes, what sort?
Dunno. Yesterday it was aerospace engineering.
Very exciting. I imagine it would be the same today.
You would imagine that, wouldn't you?
Yes, I do, I just said.
Yes. It's much more interesting than that, though. It could be anything. One time, he was a vet. He was a doctor of horse bones or whatever.
Just once.
I mean, he hasn't said it again.
What a mad world we live in.
Right?
You were all headed towards the club next door?
Sure.
Is what it's called.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
not physically next
Yeah,
door,
it's
but that
just-
is the name of the club.
This is still in your neighborhood?
No, this is mine.
No,
Your neighborhood.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I imagine you guys walk for a bit. I mean, there are cabs that you could hail, but for the most part, if you're up for a bit of a walk, it's pretty easy to get district to district. Or, not district to district, but between the different areas you guys are in within Fartown.
Yeah, it's probably better. I'm going to have another cigarette.
During the walk, Malin slips off her flip-flops very subtly and carries them for a bit.
Your feet all right? I mean, I'm not an expert in shoes, but if, like, they need adjusted or something, I can take a look.
No, I hate them.
You hate shoes?
I hate them.
Oh. Well, I mean, teach your own then. Sure.
You wipe your feet when you walk into a building.
But of course.
That would be good manners.
Also, you have to wear shoes in the library.
It's
So
true.
that's why I have some.
You frown on pajamas.
If they notice you wearing them.
What about smoking?
Generally not accepted. Similar problem with the mail.
Oh, right. Makes sense. Yep.
It's quite alright. We're not headed to the library. It is closed today anyway.
And
Yeah.
you guys arrive at the club next door. This is usually kind of a happening scene, especially to the bat people who inhabit this area. But it seems relatively quiet right now. It's as though it were 2 PM and most of their clientele is nocturnal.
Makes sense.
That's true even if they're not bats.
Yep. remind me, what's the game plan here?
I don't know. They're probably all asleep.
Well, but we're looking for... we don't even know his name.
No. He'd be very recognizable. He was almost gossamer in appearance. He had a moustache and could see his eyes, but that was essentially it. He'd be very memorable.
Sort of in the way that you're not. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend. I just...
So we're looking for opposite professor. Does the professor have a mustache?
No, I think the professor has a beard.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay.
So we are looking for opposite professor, and that's exactly what I meant by that statement. Excellent.
The group arrives at the club next door. And because we're changing locations, I've drawn a new card, and this is definitely a foreboding one. We have the Unwelcome Child.
Ooh.
So the Unwelcome Child, this is a doozy of a bad one. First line in the book here is disaster strikes.
Good.
It's about getting something you don't want.
Oh no, the stalker.
Usually it has a child involved in some way, in a sense that you have no recourse against them because they are a child. You step in, and it takes a moment to adjust when you step in, because there's a bit of a spiral to the steps inside that'll lead you to become upside down. The whole club essentially has gravity reversed within it. You're always drawn towards the ceiling. As you walk up, a small group of little bat people. They are probably like a foot tall.
Wow.
And, well, yeah, these are children of a normally short group of people. But, I mean, big for a bat, I suppose. A little flock of them comes flapping right in your guys' faces. There's probably like 8 of these little things. And you can hear giggling and whatever, and then kind of fly off out the door. This is your apprentice. You notice as they flew off out the door that your pocket got a lot lighter.
Oh no.
What's wrong?
You are missing 10 crystal orbs.
Ah!
What?
Monsters! They robbed me!
Oh dear.
Oh,
Beasts.
well, hell, let's go get them.
Yes!
I mean, they're children.
I'm gone.
Get
You're gonna
those
go chase
children.
after some bat children?
Yeah.
For a sense of how much 10 crystal orbs is, that's the equivalent of about $100.
Mm-hmm.
Most of you probably don't walk around with that much in your pocket, but Malon's kind of loaded.
That's my entire life savings.
That one also doesn't go out much. So
Yeah.
Just save.
Helen
save,
doesn't
save.
really know what the appropriate amount of money to wander around with is.
So you start heading back after them, but the bats can fly and are relatively quick. They had a head start.
Well, that's not supposed to like sunlight.
Crap. I reach into my pocket, and can I use the Complaint of the Lost bracelet?
Yes. What does that do?
This object allows the wearer to conjure a single random non-magical item that they can hold in one hand. The item summoned is one that was in the midst of being used by its prior owner. Now, who decides on what the item is?
Well, it's a random item, so
Random item.
The first item that came to my mind was a spyglass.
Okay. I want to see if I can get a good look at these kids. Maybe there's something. Little shit's probably in a gang or something. Maybe they must have tattoos.
oh no!
Colors, something, patch. I don't know. Who's running the show?
This would be the kind of time that you would want to make a roll for this. There's
Probably
a perception. So do you have any related skills to this?
I do not believe that I do. Identify materials. That's about it. So probably not.
Probably not.
Okay.
So, you can just roll the die if you want. You can spend a bene from perception, +1.
2 dice.
You can spend sortilege to get 2 dice. What you're
right.
doing right now isn't
That's right.
magical. You are looking through a spyglass.
This is just a +1.
So in this case, your venture is 1,
Mhm.
so you can go ahead and roll.
5.
Well, that definitely works, because children are not a particularly high level.
Some level 8 kids.
They made pretty good time. They just kind of like hopped onto a building where it would be very difficult for you to get at.
Mhm.
But you whip at this spyglass that just appeared in your hand. And you put it up, and it's still kind of warm as you press it against your eye, because someone was clearly just looking through this. You hope they didn't have pink eye, because you would know.
Oh, yeah, that would suck.
You look for something identifiable about the kids. You can notice that one of the bats has a big old chunk missing out of one of his ears.
Mm.
You don't know how to tie that to something else, but that's certainly an identifiable mark.
Yeah. Maybe I'll ask around or something. Also, object depletion on this, it says check each use.
Okay, so you would check now.
4, so I'm still good.
Yeah, you still have the spyglass. Oh no, that's your wonder side. So it summons things, and each time you use it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can still summon additional items.
Does he still have the spyglass?
He also still has the spyglass.
You've just stolen it from someone.
Yes. I head back inside, and
Liberated.
I got the spyglass, and one of these kids had like a big chunk missing out of his ear, like he'd been in a real nasty fight or something. So we should maybe ask around, see if anyone knows who he is too. Anyone want a spyglass?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
I'll keep it. It's fine.
Okay, good.
My items list is going to be huge.
I know what this is. I know what this is. He's just taken that from somebody at random,
Yep.
and I don't want it.
I wonder if, like Skyrim, you're going to get over encumbered.
Right? From just picking up random cutlery. Yeah.
Taking a pitchfork-sized actual fork.
That would be too big.
Too much.
Yeah, it's one hand, right?
Yeah, has to be something you hold in one hand.
One hand, yep.
Pitchfork is definitely 2 hand.
Yeah. Oh, the color was pale, by the way, but I don't think that affects anything.
No, that's just fine. The only thing that has any effect right now is anything Malin does.
Hello.
Sorry, Malin.
You venture into the club after reorienting yourself on the stairs again after coming back out.
Ugh, what a wretched place.
The floor here is actually kind of spotless clean, which is unheard of in a club.
Yeah.
And then you look up at the ceiling and see all the crap that's gone up there. It seems loose objects have regular gravity,
Fall up.
but people and held things have reversed gravity.
What if? Okay, imagine with me. Come to imagination land with me.
Here we go.
I believe we are already there.
That's a good point.
We live here now. Anyway, imagination land, okay? You've just received a letter saying that you're about to go to a magnificent party where something very cool will happen.
I didn't get a letter.
We're imagining.
Oh, rat.
We are doing imagining, okay?
I'm not good
You're
at that.
very excited about this. Woohoo, you say. I'm going to go to do party on New Year's Eve with my friends and become very intoxicated and dance around a lot.
Oh, I see. What if there's letters in the garbage?
What if
That's
someone has dropped such a letter?
sort of the floor, but not?
Yes, exactly, the floor ceiling.
How do we get there?
I have no idea.
All right.
Can I start looking with my spyglass?
Yes.
Yes!
Don't imagine it's all that useful, but
This would be another opportunity to make a perception roll with it.
this will just be a regular. I'm not
Sure.
spending nothing on it. That's a 7.
That's a 7. You take the spyglass, and the first thing you notice is that it appears they never clean the ceiling here.
Yeah?
So there's junk everywhere up there.
This is worse than my place.
Barely.
Ouch.
Between all of the broken bottles, discarded cigarette butts and anything else that may have been dropped at the club. There's probably someone's wallet up there. You do see, like, there's some papers up there, but you do see a black envelope that's tucked up there.
What
Hey.
does short range?
This would be within short range.
Absolutely. I use the Lassen's eager grasp, and I get an unattached, unattended, inanimate object within short range, flies into my empty hand. It must be something I can normally hold and lift with one hand.
Perfect. I point out the letter.
And Malin reaches up, and the letter gets itself out from under a bottle, and then whips around and flies into your hand.
Oh,
Lovely.
good catch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little bit sticky, because this was effectively on a club floor, but it does appear to be the same invitation that has been sent out. That is an invitation with a +1 attached to it.
So now we just need one more. Or my neighbor needs to bring one of us.
Yeah, because you had your +1 still, right? Only Rachel?
I think Rachel is the +1.
Yeah.
Sorry, my friend.
Okay, yeah, so one more?
Yes, because
Or Mr. Potato, is that... I'm not sure what the plan is here.
Well, I don't know about all that.
I had a very good idea just now.
I'm sure
Well.
you didn't.
We'll see about that. Who got a letter? Roger.
Oh,
What do you think of when you think of Roger?
A campfire.
Axes.
Very good. But not what I was thinking of. What I think about when I think about Roger is the animals who live inside Roger. And how do the animals inside Roger go to see R-rated movies?
Oh, they sneak in.
They stack on top of each other in a trench coat.
Do you have any sweaters that big?
Definitely.
Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
Yes.
I'm still waiting for the good idea.
It was an excellent idea.
Well, it wasn't the worst idea I've ever heard.
There,
I'll give
see?
you that.
So is that the plan going forward? You guys have enough invitations to get there, provided that two of you are joined together under the same sweater?
Yeah, how is this...
Also, which two of you?
I think I'm the littlest.
Yeah, 11th Street is fairly tall, actually.
I may be slight, but I absolutely refuse.
What? Me? That's just makes the most sense, I suppose.
Does the potato know that you wanted to go on a date with the potato?
Well, I don't know about all that, but date? Come now. Date. Psh. I mean, what if he's not even going?
Well, then we can just take his letter if he's not using it. Did you ask him?
I tried, but he was busy.
Perhaps we should check back.
There are several more days, of course.
Sure. Yeah, give him a little time to think about it, and then, go on over, ask cup sugar, that kind of thing, and, sweet talk him a little bit.
I'm
Okay.
sure there's enough time to deceive a potato.
I don't know. Have you seen his house? Maybe he's really clever.
That's where we're going to cut here. Because you guys have completed the objective of find a plan to get into the party.
Nice.
I think Malin legit thinks that the potato is just... Yep,
Does Malin have a crush on a potato?
I don't know.
That's kind of where I heard that going.
Yeah,
Now, at the end of an Invisible Sun session,
clearly isn't and doesn't.
we do a character summary.
Okay.
Something where we get to decide how this session affected our character and if we progressed meaningfully towards any of our goals. Is there anyone who would like to go first?
I will. I believe the professor has progressed meaningfully towards his goal of learning about the legacy, given that he has taken a step towards being in the presence of a legacy artifact, apparently, maybe?
That's great, and you can go ahead and take one acumen for progressing along your personal goal. Now the next question, how does the professor feel about the events of today?
Honestly, he has not had a good day. He was woken up rudely. He did at least have a nice breakfast and presumably has enough food to feed himself for a couple of days, which is always good, given his lifestyle. But he had to go into this club. It's just disgusting in there. While he may have taken a step forward towards his goal, he's not happy about
Okay.
the events.
So then you can be awarded 1 despair for the session.
Wah, wah.
Who wants to go next?
Sure, why not? Progression, none. Because, in fact, it was like reverse progression, because Roger's planning on screwing something up. And, oh crap, I'll have to deal with that later. But otherwise, I got to see my old roommate. Guy was okay.
Yay!
Really liked the pancakes. Got the tea. So it was a nice morning. The stupid bats was a little bit concerning. Overall, it was a pretty good morning.
Alright. Then you can take a joy.
That's good, because I had despair.
This is difficult because, well, like, objectively, receiving this invitation is a step toward finding who's been sending her weird letters. But it's not one she wants to take. So while she's been afforded an opportunity to advance her goal of solving a mystery, I don't know that she has done so.
I'm still going to award you the acumen for it.
Okay. She also is extremely uncomfortable with the entire situation and with the party's take on the situation. Because, like, this is something that makes her feel very nervous. And the fact that nobody seems to see how upsetting this is for her is a bit of a bummer.
What are you so upset about?
Then yeah, for the session you can take a despair.
The party's insisting that I go on a date with the weirdo creep.
Well, if you want to get into the party, I'm just saying it's a means
Or
to
we
an
can
end.
stack up in a trench coat. Don't worry about it.
I mean,
Or
we
we
are doing that.
Yeah, that's happening.
It could seduce a potato that's still...
Lots of options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Melon has progressed forward in, like, creating bonds, possibly with her neighbor, Tato, and...
He's got a pet name already?
I was just going to say, you've got a nickname. That's beautiful.
Tato it is.
Then yes, definitely. If the potato is a possible target for friendship, then you can definitely take the acumen for that. And then how was your day?
It was mostly great. I mean, actually, even being robbed, Malon's never been robbed before, so that's a cool story that she can tell now. Because, I mean, right? You got robbed by little bat guys! And then someone chased off to defend her honor. Great.
So you can take a joy for the session. And I'm going to award everyone an acumen for receiving your invitations to the party. You are progressing the story.
Yay.
Fucking Roger got mine.
Huzzah!
I have a very good idea on let's attack Roger.
Oh, he's real big.
But it's okay. We have an inside man.
Next time we meet will be in-game on January 10th when you guys will be attending the party.
Okay.
If anyone wants, feel free to contact me before then for any development mode, anything that you want to do in the interim that doesn't need the whole party. Yeah, if there's anything you look into or work on your own time, then we can do that in the development mode before the next session.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Like a couch parachute.
Like a couch parachute. Exactly, like a couch parachute.
I just like the principle of the idea. I
Well-
don't care about the...
Thank you, Terrence, for listening.
Bye, Taryn.
Bye,
Bye,
Terrence.
Terrence.
You're not really listening to this, Terrence. Love you.